Hello and welcome to Origins by the Esports Awards, the podcast that deep dives into the origin stories of your favorite creators, players, and business minds in our beloved esports and gaming industry. And of course, today is no exception. My name is Barney Banks, and today we have a double whammy because we have one of the best players to ever grace PUBG Mobile, but we also have one of the biggest creators in that space as well, with over 5 million YouTube subscribers. Please welcome to Origins, Scout. Scout, how you doing, man?
Hey guys, how are you?
Really, really good. How's things with you on your side of the world? Is everything good?
Yeah, everything's perfect. Everything is smooth.
You know what, Scout? I've got so much that I want to talk to you about, okay? But the best place for us to start really should be just right at the first moment that you picked up a video game. What console was it? What game was it? And why did you get hooked?
I think we gotta go back to like 10 years back. I think it was one of those retro games where you used to put the cassettes in the console. And I think my first ever game was Mario. Mario and Contra.
I like that. Mine was the Nintendo 64. I was a big GoldenEye fan and Super Mario 64. I think you're a little bit younger than me, so you know what? I'll take that. That's fine.
Nah, to
But
be honest, like I have played the black and white Tetrix, to be honest. So yeah, I'm from that era.
oh,
So
I
yeah,
love
I
it.
have been
No,
there. I have been there.
what was it about gaming for you? So what was it? So you picked it up. Was it an instant love and an instant passion for it? Or was it just something you picked up every now and then you had to wait for the right game to come along?
So I was not from a very good background to to own a console to play games. So whenever I used to travel with my family to different restaurants, we used to have a huge retro boxes in the hotels where you used to put a coin and play Tekken or Street Fighter. So every trip, every family trip, I used to play those games. So one of my cousins, they showed me that, oh, they have a old console where you can play these games on with the remotes and everything. So I was like, bro, I need that because I loved those games back in the days. So from that was a point where I used to enjoy myself while playing games. Like nowadays, people escape from reality and use the game for that, or maybe compete just for competing. They come in the gaming industry, but for me, it was pure entertainment and peace at that time.
I totally get that actually. Peace being a really like powerful word there. Like you feel like you're at peace just enjoying the game and you're enjoying something that someone has created for you to enjoy. It wasn't created to be super competitive from the get-go. I feel like games are just created to be enjoyed. But you talk about, life growing up with your family and going to different restaurants. You found games consoles. You actually grew up in a town called Valsad, which is, by the way, a town famous for the best mangoes in the world. That's one. Tithal
True.
Beach. You can tell me about Tithal Beach because I don't know anything about it, so I need you to tell me. And also your famous wood, which in the West we call balsa wood. And I don't know if you know this, but I've got a very fun fact about your hometown. Do you know an extremely famous person from the West who actually their family is from Valsad? Do you know who I'm going to say?
I highly doubt, to be honest. I don't have any clue about
Freddie
this.
Mercury, the lead singer of Queen, his family is from Valsad.
Oof. Oh, that's a
Cool,
surprising
right?
fact for me. Okay, this is the first time I got to know. That's crazy.
But something that was special for you growing up in that town was actually football. Was there like a local team that you supported, or was it just playing it that you got the enjoyment out of it?
Uh, Actually, I grew up here, but when I was like my entire childhood, I spent in a hostel. So I grew up in a hostel, to be honest. And in Valsad, when I was here, I was with my parents. I was a proper kid who used to study and wanted to become a scholar. But in my seventh grade, my parents sent me to a hostel that's in my birthplace, that's in Orissa. Uh, I grew up in a hostel. So, the boys with the boys and all the things happening. The kid who used to study a lot and wanted to become a scholar later became a footballer, an athlete. So, my transition was completely different when I was here in Valsad and when I grew up in hostel.
Well, you were actually hoping to take that passion for football that you had growing up in that hostel,
Ah,
and you were trying to take it the distance, weren't you? But you got an
yeah.
injury. Can you tell us a little bit more about that injury and what happened and how it was so life changing?
To be honest, I was like 50% there to be a pro footballer, and I was pretty good. I played nationals, I played states, I played almost everything. Unfortunately, one of the worst injuries that a footballer can get is the hamstring. So I pulled my hamstring. I went for a bed rest for like 2 3 months, and that time I used to play PUBG PC, but in cafes. So I used to search like, okay, what similar game I can play on a mobile, and then I got to know there are different games which is called battle royale. I never knew about battle royale back in the days. I was a proper FPS gamer who just used to play Counter Strike, Go, Counter Strike, Condition Zero, and everything. But then I found a couple of games which are similar to PUBG PC, and later we got to know that okay, it's gonna be released. Then I signed in for the beta from the Chinese version of PUBG, and then slowly I got into PUBG.
Wow. So how long was it from this football related injury to discovering like, their passion or re recognizing that passion for gaming? Was it just during your injury because you couldn't do anything else?
To be honest, gaming never left me. Like in my peak time when I used to actually compete in football, I still used to play games every day, every single day. So I could proudly say I have been gaming from last 10 to 15 years, because people normally say that, oh, it's been 5 years they have been into gaming. But for me, it's like rigorous gaming for like last 10 years. I have been there in gaming, like in and out, in and out. I still remember like I used to come from the school, and I used to show my mom that I've done my homeworks, I've got these many grades. So please let me go to the cafe. Because I never had a PC back in the days. So my mom used to go and drop me in the cafe. I used to play for 2 hours and come back home. So it was my um, how to say, like it was one of the presents I used to get. I used to give myself by doing good in my studies, so I could get some time to play video games.
Dude, I've got a 3-year-old, and that's how it's going to work. Like, you have to earn that time on the console. You have to earn that gaming time.
True.
But going from this very athletic like journey that you're on, and to be honest with you, I can relate it a little bit. Like, I went from a dance background and I used to work as a dancer, and then I got an injury which meant that I couldn't continue. So I had to pivot my career into the gaming world. So I kind of have some similarities of knowing that you're going from this super active lifestyle of using your body every day. You're obviously in really peak physical condition, to then suddenly pivoting to quite a sedentary lifestyle. So was that quite a difficult change as well for you? Because physically, your body starts to change because you're not using it the same way you used to.
To be honest, I still hate my body right now because I have seen the peak physique, what my body is capable of. And after these 4 or 5 years, when I look at myself, I'm like, bro, you're not the same guy who used to run on the ground every day. So yeah, it's a pretty hard time for me by when you look at the physical term. Because if you are a casual gamer, or if you have never been into sports or any physical activity, and then you start gaming, there's not a big transition. But if you're an athlete, or you are those one of those peak physiques, then you can understand the huge difference. Like back in the days, I could run like 10 kilometers, like very easily. But now it's like I'm gonna catch my breath if I start running like 5 kilometers. So yeah, I know there are now limitations to my body.
Also, for those of you watching and listening to this podcast, you have to know that Scout is saying that he used to run 10K and used to be absolutely fine. But also, that is in the climate in India, which is a very, very different climate to where everyone else that's going to be watching this podcast, or a lot of people, will not be used to it. I mean, running 10K in the UK versus running 10K in India, I can imagine is different. I think right now it's like in the mid 30s, like Celsius right
Yeah,
now, which is,
yeah,
dude,
it's
it
pretty
gets
different.
crazy
Trust me.
hot.
Yeah, because
So,
I recently been to UK. It was like pretty rainy, and like the summers of UK, I would say it's like the winters of India. It's that different.
wow. That is wild. Because you've had the physical difference, like we've just talked about, due to injury as well, which is obviously pretty frustrating, I can imagine. But
Yeah.
also you've got this, you've got these parents that you want you to strive to do well academically. and that you chose to try to pursue football, and then that hasn't happened. So then, do your parents get back involved to say, right, it's time to go back on the academics, or did you find gaming really quickly and go, this is what I want to do?
To be honest, like in India, we live in a society where it's very competitive in academic segment. So even if you are very good, your parents are always been comparing yourself to the other kids who are doing really great at studies. So for me, it's like my parents used to tell me, like, you left studies for football. Now you're leaving football for gaming. Next what? What are you gonna do next? How are you gonna survive? I just asked them for, like, I just need 1 year. Give me a chance to prove. If I'm not able to do it, I'm ready to do whatever you guys say or tell me to do. Then I was lucky enough. I was one of those few guys who made it. So yeah, I'm pretty happy now, and my parents are super proud of that.
So you're talking about your parents allowing you to have 1 year, and are you already kind of been and gone with the Counter-Strike side of things, or are you still trying to pursue Counter-Strike? Because did you try and pursue that as a pro, or were you just playing Counter-Strike because you enjoyed it?
It's a funny story. Like, I have been semi-pro in Counter Strike also. I used to play ESL in India back in the days. When I was in Kolkata, I used to play a lot of Counter Strike. So I did try a pro there, but at that time I was into football. So for me, football was more important at that time. So I just used to compete casually in Counter Strike. I used to play semi pro in Counter Strike. It's the funny story is that I had my 10th boards, and I still remember after my exams, I didn't went back to home. I just went to the cafe, and my dad found me out at night. Found me there at night, and I got a good amount of shouting and scolding there. And from that day, I was like, okay, next time when I'm gonna go, I'm gonna need to find out different timings when my dad is not gonna find me.
I love it. Everyone's journey in the gaming industry kind of started the same way. So I was hiding it from my parents. They didn't know, but it all worked out, which is great. Now,
Yeah,
PUBG Mobile then came into the scene, didn't it? PUBG Mobile came into
yeah.
the forefront of your life. What was the journey from casual to pro? Was that in that year that you said to your parents, "I'm going to try and make this work"?
To be honest, I never thought of becoming a professional. I always wanted to be at the top tier of any game I compete or play. So back in that, I never knew there was something called esports in mobile gaming. So I met one of the elite players from Indonesia. It's the BTR guys, Jaxi, Laxi, and everyone. So I climbed the leaderboard. I went to top 10, and there I met all these guys, and they introduced me towards the esports, what was happening in the country. I was like, okay, I hope this thing comes in India. So maybe I can give it a try, or maybe there will be an opportunity for the gamers who are really giving their whole time towards gaming, because there was no such thing called a career in gaming in India before 6 years. It recently blew up. So now parents are, if I was a kid now, and if I would have asked my parents that I want to be a gamer, and I could have given some examples of who have already made it, but when I started, there was no one who made it. So it was pretty hard for me to choose this as a career. But yeah, PUBG Mobile came in with the tournaments, and that changed out. And by never thinking to become a professional, I became a professional out of nowhere.
But you became a professional. So was that, this you trying to create a career out of gaming? Was this then also in line with content creation, or were you just trying to pursue the kind of pro side of it at the time?
Content creation was never my interest. I just wanted to compete. I just love to play games. Like uh, nowadays, there are very less gamers. There are more streamers. So the nowadays people who tell themselves as gamers, they just play games on stream. And if you're a hardcore gamer, you play off stream. You grind off stream, then you play on stream. So there's a huge difference between gamers and streamers nowadays, because there are very few gamers left who actually love to play games. So I was one of those guys who genuinely loved gaming. So I never thought of becoming a content creator, or like to start YouTube or gain certain amount of fame or money. It was pure love towards gaming. Content creation came very late in my career, And that too, it was never a motivation to become a creator, just to prove some people that yeah, uh, I do play good in the game. For that, I just started showing some, uploading some videos on YouTube. That's it.
It's more like a proving ground for yourself. But
Yeah.
what was the what was the difference between? We're going to skip a few years, I think, because what was the difference for you from representing orgs? You joined orgs like Godlike, Fnatic, Revenant, Xark now, but you also have represented your country. You've represented for PMWL. What was that experience like versus orgs? Because a lot of people watching or listening to this podcast will understand the process of, people getting signed by organizations, representing them at tournaments. But then there's also the other side of like, you can go onto a global stage and represent your nation. Like, how does that differ? And, how proud were you of you and the team to do that?
I think that's the best thing that has ever happened to me. Like, uh, I'm a very patriotic guy, so I always wanted to represent my country in football. So when you see the teams in football, when they stand and the national anthem starts playing in the background, that feeling is something which gives me a lot of goosebumps. And gaming was something which gave me something closer to that. Not exactly that, but something closer to that. Because still, when you compete internationally, you don't represent your country entirely. You are one of the teams that represent the country. So it was something close to that. But yeah, it was super fun. The PMWL and the PEL in China, those moments, it was like insane. I think these are one of those crazy moments that's gonna stay in the memories forever.
Well, we've already mentioned some of the teams that you played for, the organizations. You've also spoken about how the content creation side for you came super late in your career. But how about now? Like, how do you see it split now? Do you still see yourself as a pro first and a content creator second, or is it more even now?
Now it's more even. It was pretty hard for me at the start to balance both of them, but now it's pretty clear that I want to do both at the same time. I have been off from uh, PUBG Mobile for a year when the game got banned in India. So it was a very big dent on my skill set because I was like 1 year behind the players. And everyone knows in a competitive scenario, even if you leave the game for a month, you vanish. For me, it was pretty hard to get back. And now I think I'm pretty confident to again compete in the scenario. So yeah, I see myself as an esports player first and then a content creator.
A competitor at heart. I love
Ah,
that. Dude, we got to talk more about Revenant Xark as well, because you've been a part of this organization for a while now, and you've actually recently announced a really cool collaboration. And when I say a cool
ah,
collaboration, I think of, we've had quite a few really big ones, I'd say, in our industry. We had 100 Thieves collaborating with Gucci. We've had like a Disney, like Marvel collaboration with Liquid. You guys have gone big and you've done a collab with Naruto. That is so
exactly.
cool. And it's like the way that anime and gaming kind of bridge the gap. I imagine everyone went crazy when they found out. Tell me about how that came about and your involvement in it.
I personally feel that not all gamers are anime fans, but majority of the anime fans are gamers. That's what I feel. I can still be wrong, but that's my perspective. And when I heard for the first time from my co-owner that yeah, we're gonna have a collab, I asked with what? He told me Naruto. I was like, okay, that's big. And now when you see anime fans in almost all the industries, if you watch football, there are players who do celebrations representing their favorite anime characters. I was like, okay, this is something which we can take a step ahead and make it super big. And specifically Naruto being one of the big threes, it has a huge fan base, and I'm super happy that I'm gonna be representing that in India and making what the fans deserve. Like, we have the license to make merchandise and everything, and I know how crazy fans are for the merchandise, and you never get the exact thing what you want from the anime fans, like me being a huge fan of Madara. So if I want something, some specific design, I can't get it because I don't know whom to contact. But me myself being a huge fanatic of anime and a huge fan of anime, I feel I can make this happen for all the anime fans in India.
I love that because actually, as years go by, the more that I've been involved in the esports industry, the more I'm discovering the scale of anime and how much it's impacting Western culture now. I feel like, obviously, in Asia, it's so big and it's bleeding across into Western culture. And so many people I know now are obsessed with it. And we're seeing more and more, anime shows appearing on not just Crunchyroll, but like Netflix and Prime, and they're all kind of picking it up as well. So I think it's amazing to see that, and that you guys are at the forefront of it with gaming and linking up with Naruto. So cool. Can you give us any like insight into what you guys are going to be making? Obviously, you've mentioned merchandise. Is that the primary thing you're going to focus on? Because I need some gossip from you, man. I'm getting
Uh,
excited.
okay. I wish I could give you more, but I would say like our latest team jersey, we have dedicated jersey for a player. Like every player has one dedicated character, so it's not like a team jersey with the same designs. Every player, like if I'm scout and I'm wearing a jersey, I have a different design on my jersey which represents one of the famous characters from the Naruto. So it's one of the things that we have tried this time, and I'm super excited for the merch that's gonna come up soon, because I personally, I'm an artist. I do uh, make a couple of sketches here and there whenever I get time. So I have also designed some of the um, raw uh, anime designs for the jerseys and all of our team. So I'm super excited for that.
I'm excited for you. You've opened the door a little bit. The door is cracked. Okay, we know that there's going to be some cool individual jerseys. Are you able to tell us when we'll first see them?
Actually, we have
Like
revealed it on our
you can say
trailer.
soon.
No, I actually we
Oh,
have
season already.
revealed what. Yeah, we have revealed one of the characters on our team announcement recently. But yeah, the main, like I have my own design which is yet to be revealed. Yeah, you guys can see that soon. 100%.
Sick. I am so excited for that. Now, being a part of this organization, you're building it together. Has it been a large part of your focus personally, like at the moment, or are you still focusing on, playing pro and stuff like, 'cause the I just feel like the more you grow as an individual, the more you grow in your content creation, which is obviously huge, and you love to still focus on being a pro player, you must have to split your time quite a lot because all these things can be quite time consuming.
Yeah, to be honest, like nowadays, when I have grown so much, I feel 24 hours are is less for me. I need like 30 hours in my life to work extra for my different goals what I've set. And specifically for the organization, what you were asking me about Revenant Xpark. So we are focusing on a lot of different games, specifically esports, because in India there are very less games in which people compete. I want to open the doors for almost every sport fan in India where they want to compete. It should not be just like only two games. You gotta be good at these two games. Only then you can have a career. No, if you're really good at maybe FIFA, yes, we have a team which we're gonna compete. If you're really good at Valorant, yes, we do have a team in that. So I wanna make a place where whichever game you are really good at, give a best and go and represent the country. That's what my actual goal is right now. And in terms of content creation, I have a couple of friends outside India who have guided me till now to how to do things in content. And this year is gonna be huge for me in terms of content creation, because I'm gonna go out of the box what I normally do and try something very new.
I like that. Oh, I like that. Dangle the carrot, as we say. That's great. I think we I actually met some of the players from Revenant X Spark recently at DreamHack Dallas, your Brawl Stars team. They were really, really great guys. And I love what you're doing with the teams. And I think just keep up that kind of good work. And it sounds like you've got a strong head on. You kind of know which direction you
Yeah.
want to take it. And it seems like you're really involved as well, which is also a great thing to see because you've got so much going on. And speaking of so much going on, you've recently hit a milestone. You hit that 5 million subscriber milestone on YouTube, which is wild. Now, after talking to a bunch of creators on this podcast and, at different events with those kinds of numbers, it all seems to happen in waves. Like you get like a wave of subscribers coming in off of maybe a collaboration that you do or a particular video of yours pops off. Some people even, gain 500,000 to a million subscribers in 1 month. Did that kind of happen for you, or did you see like a steady growth with what you were creating?
Actually, my growth really happened while I was competing internationally during the times when I was representing our country. So when you represent your country, it's no matter the people who love you or hate you, they're all gonna come together and root for the country. That was the time where I got a huge spike in my subscribers because I was only one of the few guys who used to compete internationally and do good because there were like 8 9 players from India every year, but I guess only two of the players used to compete, like perform every time. So that was the place where I got a huge number of subscribers. So it was always when I used to compete, the subscribers used to go up and then again stagnant, then compete it used to go up and stagnant. That's how my career on YouTube went till now. But now I want to change it because uh, I think I can do pretty good in content also because I've never touched it till now. I've seen people growing around me. I've seen people trying different types of content. I have really good friends who are killing it in content. So yeah, I have learned the best from all the best people out there. So yeah, it's gonna be super fun for the new journey what I'm gonna start now.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with a bit of variety in your life. You know, you can
Yeah.
try different things, and if it doesn't work, you can go back to what you love. Now, I think that a lot of people don't talk about the other side of YouTube because with content creation, social media, YouTube, we see subscriber counts, we see view counts, we see the fame that comes with it. There's also an element of setbacks that come with being famous on something like YouTube. Um, and along with that comes a lot of responsibility as an individual. You know, you automatically overnight, whether you like it or not, you become a really influential figure and you gain a lot of responsibilities. And with that can come a few drawbacks. Do you get approached in public a lot? And does that make it difficult to kind of like leave the area that you work out of? And, you know, do people see you out in public and approach you a lot?
Yeah. So this is so everyone has a different approach towards this. But personally, I feel that if the fans don't exist, I would not exist. For me, I'm a very big fan of Ronaldo. So imagine if I get a chance to meet Ronaldo, I would like go crazy. And imagine if he ignores me, that would hurt me a lot. So I always think myself that if someone is recognizing me in public and coming to meet me, and if I don't give him the importance, I think my biggest fan is going to turn out to one of those guys who would never have love towards me. So I feel I should give the equal amount of love and respect towards the fan who is spending so much time watching me and going out of the box to meet me. So I feel this approach it's individually for me how I approach towards the people who come and meet me. But yeah, there's obviously a boundary. If I'm eating somewhere, then if sometimes people come like while eating they just come to take a selfie and all. I think that needs to be stopped because you let the person complete their food. Yeah, he's gonna go and obviously come and meet you. So yeah, it happens sometimes, but yeah, there are many fans who know this thing, basic civic sense, and they don't cross the lines. But sometimes it happens that people come in while you're having your private time, maybe with your family, or you're having some food, or you're just having a very tired day and you're frustrated and you're going off, and then a fan comes in. So you need to handle everything in a different way.
Yeah, there are limits, and I totally understand where you're coming from because, yeah, you have to have some sort of boundaries. Like, you know, we've had stories of YouTubers in the UK where people just turn up at their house and just start knocking on their door and
Ah,
going, "Can I have a selfie?" And you're like, "Sorry, yeah, you can't do that, guys. You can't do that." But spinning things a little bit to something that me and you were speaking about before we started this conversation live, we have on the horizon this beacon of light that could be the Indian community coming back to live PMGC lands or just major lands in the PUBG Mobile, you know, event space. That could be huge. What would that mean to the Indian community? And, you know, how much do you want to be involved in it?
I think that's going to be a huge thing. It's going to be a huge motivation for all the young lads who are coming in nowadays into the esports thing. And for me specifically, I'm going to be back 100% because that's the love for the country. Everything ends there. Like, what else do you need where you get a chance to represent your country? That's the biggest motivation. For me, it's the biggest motivation. I don't know. For some people, it's money. Some people, it's fame. But for me, yeah, I want to get something and do something for my country. If the beacon of light, if it's bright enough and we get a chance to compete again, now it's gonna be insane. It's gonna be insane,
It would.
trust me.
Yeah, it would be amazing because you mentioned earlier on that the Indian esports world, the Indian esports community has exploded over the last 6 years, um, and it's actually one of the most active esports communities that I've ever seen. Every time we're in like Twitch chat or YouTube when we're live at an event, the Indian community are just blowing it up every time. How has it evolved over those past 6 years, and kind of where do you see it going? Being able to come back into the PMGC, environment as well, but also other esports.
I think Indian community has grown in a pretty nice way. It has shaped in a pretty nice way. I personally want the Indian gaming community. Like when I say Indian gaming community, I include esports in PUBG Mobile, in BGMI, in PC games specifically, Valorant, CounterStrike, every single platform out there. Just like Valorant outside our country, just like CS:GO majors, how they happen in a huge stadium filled with players. I am looking forward for that happening in our country. Like not just BGMI, yeah, BGMI plays a huge role in that because it has attracted like a huge chunk of audience towards esports. I feel if a PUBG Mobile or BGMI never existed, I don't feel like uh, so many gamers would have got into gaming because in like let's be pretty honest about the thing that in India we don't have a lot of PCs because it's pretty expensive, a gaming PC or a gaming console. So everyone owns a mobile phone out here, and getting a really good game like that where you can compete and represent the country, I don't know what else could have attracted so much audience to esports or gaming. So yeah, now esports is pretty good, is in a pretty good shape, but still there needs to be a lot of improvement. A lot of things needs to be introduced in our gaming community, specifically for the PC genre. So if a lot of people don't know, I not just only play PUBG Mobile, I play a lot of PC games out there. I have been playing Warzone, I have been playing Counter Strike, I have been playing Valorant, and you name it, I have played that. So I want the PC gaming industry in India to grow a lot also.
Scout, I get asked this a lot about mobile versus PC. A lot of people actually outside of the gaming industry talk to me about it because a lot of people in the Western Hemisphere, on our side of the planet, they kind of just don't understand it, I think. So we need to
Oh
clarify
yeah.
some things. I think that people don't understand the scale of mobile esports on this side of the world because, like you've mentioned, more people will have a console or a PC to game on rather than using their phone. But because of the scale that mobile esports is growing, do you think that there's going to be a surge in popularity in the Western Hemisphere when it comes to mobile, or do you still think it will stay more on the side of Asia for a longer period of time?
I think it's gonna be equally good as consoles because when you look in the Western Hemisphere, it's more of consoles. People have PS5, people have Xbox at the home. But when you look at the Southeast Asian part, uh, people normally have mobile phones because not everyone owns a console here, or not everyone can own a console or have a gaming setup here. So when people compare a PC gamer and a mobile gamer, I find out it's very stupid because both of them requires equal amount of skill set. Okay, now someone will come up and tell me, oh, how it's hard to play on a mobile screen. It's equally hard the way you play a four finger claw on a console like this. When we play professional in a console, we use four finger claw, right? For consoles. Same way when we play on a mobile phone, we also play on a claw. So there's no difference. It's equal amount of time given to learn the skill set. It's just different platforms. So I think I am one of those few guys who has competed in all the three different genres. So I know how difficult it is to compete on a mobile, to compete on a console, and compete on a PC. Each and every one of them requires a different type of skill set. So everything is hard in its own way. So we cannot ever compare that mobile is easier or PC is easier or a console is easier. Everything, when you compete, everything is hard.
I will gladly take the hit for this one. I will argue that mobile is way harder than PC because I have worked with PUBG Mobile, I've worked with Brawl Stars, Clash of Clans, Asphalt, you name it, the mobile game. I've been involved in the esports, and I got to tell you, these kids that play on mobile, especially on a game like PUBG, is bananas how accurate they are on a mobile screen. And so I would argue personally that mobile is harder. I just think the skill gap is higher personally. But it's okay. You don't have to agree with me. I totally get what you're saying. I totally get it. But having stood behind some pros as they're going and they're playing on mobile, I'm absolutely baffled. I don't know how they do it. But yeah, I think that having this level of notoriety in your community and being as successful as you are, you probably get approached a lot by the younger generation, asking you for advice. So like, imagine I'm a 12-year-old and I've just asked you, how do I get into esports? How do I get into content creation? What are your helpful tips and tricks?
Uh, so both content creation and esports are completely different. So you need to be super clear about where you want to head in first, because if you're heading into esports, what's the motivation? Is it money? Is it fame? Then esports not for you, my friend. There should be something greater which you want to achieve, specifically representing your country or winning that trophy or becoming the best in the world. So if it's that, then you get into esports. If you're running behind money or fame, I think esports is not for you, my friend. But content creation is different. Because nowadays things have changed. 6 years back, when I started, it was completely different. We never had the reels that would have blown up on Instagram. We never had shorts that would have blown on YouTube. It was pretty much simple, long format videos, and if you're lucky enough, it would reach the right audience. So now, if you want to be in content creation, I feel you gotta follow the trends that's happening. You gotta entertain people and do something which no one else has done. This line, I think you must have heard from every other content creator, but this is not true, to be honest, because 6 years from now, everything has already been done on YouTube. There's nothing left. You just gotta be consistent nowadays. You can't bring something new now, because in last 6 years, people have done this million times. People have tried every single thing that's possible. So you must have heard a dialogue from every single content creator that you should be unique. You should try something new. Brother, there is nothing new left. You gotta be consistent now if you want to be in content creation.
A very honest answer. I like it. At least it's
Yeah,
honest. And I think that I agree with
I
you.
I could
Consistency is
have been.
key.
Sorry to interrupt. I could have been diplomatic and told you the same thing, that yeah, you should try something new. Maybe you can blow up, but no, that's not the reality, my friend.
No, again, I appreciate the honesty. And I think that other people will appreciate it too, because you don't want to set someone down the wrong path and they go, well, I tried to find something unique, but I couldn't find anything to do. Well, it's because the reality is more or less everything has been done on YouTube. But Scout, I've got some quick fire questions for you.
Ah, sure.
And so I feel like we've only got 4 questions, and I want you to fire through them as quickly as you can. And just to get a bit more insight into you, I feel like we can start things off nice and easy. What is your favorite weapon loadout in BGMI?
M4 S12K.
What is your most memorable tournament moment?
It was PEC, China.
What is your favorite moment as a content creator?
Uh, I think when I made all my international friends through gaming, Vic, Doctor Disrespect, and so many other people.
What is a fact about yourself that your fans would be shocked to find out?
I'm pretty humble in real life. Trust me.
Now, I got to say,
Scout is
before I
pretty
let you go,
aggressive.
man, is
Scout is pretty aggressive. Me, Tanmay Singh is very humble and nice and a calm guy. He never rages. I'm a very calm guy. I talk politely, but yeah, Scout is a different guy. You see him on the screen. He's a aggressive guy who loves to win. That's it.
you're just a passionate guy, man. You're passionate about
Yeah,
what you do, and if you're a competitor, that's the kind of thing. That's the way you got to be, man. You got to be passionate.
to be honest, I cannot blame anyone. It's just me, my older version in football, the aggression. It just stayed with me. It just stayed with Scout in gaming. That's it. The same competitiveness
Now,
every time.
we got to talk a little bit about Revenant X Spark and yourself, of course. What's next for you guys? Obviously, we've spoken about the Naruto stuff. What are you trying to build with Revenant X Spark going forward? Where do you see the organization in years to come? And what about yourself personally? What are you trying to achieve?
So okay, so a lot of people must have no idea about Revenant Xbox, how it formed. So I'll just give it a small backstory about it. So basically, it was a team called Team Xbox that I made. I think it was before when I joined Fnatic. I had a team called TX, which I made with a few other friends, and we played. Then we joined Fnatic. But that TX, the love towards TX was so much that I thought of making it a team when I was capable enough of funding the players and getting players and coaching and getting them and making them a champion. So I used to run this team alone, single-handedly, getting the salaries, getting them everything, getting every single player whatever they demanded for the best they could have given in the game. So I ran the org for like 2 years alone. Then I met one of the crazy guys who is just an insane gamer like me. That's Mr. Rohit. He owns Revenant. So we thought that our ideas align a lot because for him the love for esports is too high. I think it's more than me because he want to compete in every single sport. He loves that sport so much. So he wanted that. Okay, how about our ideas are aligned? So how about let's come together? Let's create something huge. And then the story began of Revenant X Park, RNTX. That's how Revenant X Park got formed. It's two people, two like-minded people coming together, sharing their thoughts. Okay, let's do it. So that's how the whole org like thing started. And now what I feel is like I wanna kill it in esports. I want to smash it in esports in every single field because I want to show the people of India that yes, you can make a career in gaming. Because if it's not me, then who? Because I am one of those guys who started gaming 6 years back. If the kids in future want to be a gamer, whom are they going to give the example about? Like, yeah, there was a guy called Scout. He made an org. He made a career. He helped people become gamer. So I want to be one of those guys to shape the future of gaming in India. So that's what I'm looking into now completely. Like making gaming mainstream in India. Because when I used to play games, people always used to tell me that why you're spending time in gaming is just waste of time. But now you can make a career out of it. People have very less idea how big gaming is outside India. And I genuinely want that. Gaming, the way it's growing right now, it should just grow the same way. And I want to push it no matter how far I want to go with that.
You are steering the ship, that is for sure, in your community. And what a better person to look up to, man. I've had such a pleasure sitting and chatting here with you. I hope a lot of people that are watching and listening have learnt a lot about you as well as a person, but also as a fierce competitor, because clearly esports runs through your veins. You know what, Scout, it's just been such... It's been a great 45 minutes, hour sitting down. You're a busy guy. Thank you for
Oh,
giving us your
it's already
time.
45 minutes, to be honest. I did not see the time. It just went through like that.
It has indeed. But you know what? Thank you so much for joining me here. And best of luck with your future
My
endeavors. We'll be
pleasure.
keeping a close eye on Revenant X Spark and, of course, what you get up to in the future. And hopefully, I'll see you soon. But thank you so much for being here on Origins.
Thanks so much. 100%. I'll see you soon.